how do you choose that this person is going to be the person you are going to be happy with, like for the
Do you
rest
know?
of the life? How do you
Brilliant,
know?
brilliant question. This is why the Islamic system of how marriage is conducted is not only through bride and a bridegroom, man and woman decides.
Yeah.
Two families come together, deciding what is best, because you're bringing not only two people together, whole families together. So your parent, for example, when they want, or your family, not just yourself, whole
Yeah,
families.
My dad, for example, isn't going to feel the same way I feel.
One thing is about
Johan,
your attractions and so on to the others, but they're looking at they're looking at other things.
Yeah.
Is he really good for you?
Yeah.
It's not just how you can connect with each other,
Yeah.
through
But I
chemicals
should
and
be-
biology.
I should be
But
able to think that
Yeah.
myself, I should be able to.
but do you know how?
If I'm going to get married, I should be grown up enough to think
Sure.
of the circumstances.
But what happens in reality is when young people, they want to marry someone, later on in their life they realize instead of thinking rationally, they went through emotions and that decided their
But
outcomes.
sometimes I think emotions are the reason why you're involved. Otherwise, I think, say you get married early because you think this guy has a good job, he's good looking, I'm going to have nice looking kids, all these things, and then you're in that situation and you go to work and then you think, I actually like this other person more. And it's just, how do you, if you've not
Then
felt
you're going to
that
have,
connection with
then
that
you might,
person.
that can happen to a woman who has had children with one guy. She
Yeah.
finds another guy she likes. She has children with him, and then she finds another guy.
Yeah.
This is what.
How do
this-
you choose that marriage? Like,
Okay.
how do you choose
Well,
That's $1 million question.
How do you decide this is the person forever?
Islam gives you the framework, but one thing that Islam does is this. The Quran tells us how the originator, the creator, has placed between the spouses love, mercy, and affection and kindness in themselves. So you can really fall in love after marriage rather than pre, because the current model here is you fall in love first, find someone attractive, and then you get married. Islamic system is not like this, because the creator knows that this love and affection and mercy is put together between the spouses.
Yeah. Then I
And-
think I would take any rich guy in Mayfair and try and love him, but
It's not just any rich guy.
But why does he have to be rich?
Why just richness is a criteria?
Support my children.
Yeah, why is
my
richness only
life.
criteria? What's the criteria, for example, when a Muslim man marries a woman? The Prophet gave a criteria, like there are four things that people normally get married. And what did the Prophet say? What are these four
Prophet
things?
said she has to be from a good family, or should be,
Yeah.
right? She is beautiful, okay, and she's wealthy, potentially, and she is religious.
Yeah.
She religious in the sense that she is God-fearing.
God
She's
conscious.
not, God-conscious person, right? And he said, prefer the fourth. Prefer the fourth option over all other three, right? If she's weak in family lineage, or if she's weak in financial
not
ability,
very
or if she's not very attractive and she's religious, then give that quality priority over others, because that will help you in your life. Because she will have a character, because she's God conscious.
That you also
And
follow.
likewise, same can be applied to men. Why not? Why not? If you find a man, but if he's a good person,
Yeah.
if he's a good human being, he's religious, right? And he wants to think of God before he does anything in his life, that's a person who's more likely to stick with you for the rest of his life than someone who is,
Support you, look after you,
Yeah.
care for you, love
Absolutely.
you.
But just, I mean, like day to day. So you have this person who's all for, imagine, that's like a
Yeah,
dream.
that's a jackpot.
But you just start to grate on each other day by day, and even though you did all these things you like together, but you just start to just,
Distance.
then
You see,
how can you say
it
Can't
depends what.
guarantee anything if that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
Marriage is something like that you cannot guarantee. But just like, when you're looking for a job, you try to find the ideal job.
Yeah.
Yes. Similarly, you try to find an ideal spouse.
Yeah.
No one can guarantee that this ideal spouse will remain ideal all their life.
Yeah.
See what I mean? So it's ultimately you
But
have
then
to.
why do we have to marry in the end, you know?
Why do you have to be with someone in the first place altogether?
Just
Because
it
marriage,
makes you feel good.
marriage is simply marriage is a formal contract.
Yeah.
Marriage is a contract, right?
That gives
Without
rights.
marriage, anything is open. Guy can pack his bags and walk away. In marriage, as I said, you tied the knot.
It's a contract of
Yeah.
responsibility.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
person that you're marrying
Yeah.
is
How do you
agreeing
know?
that I am going to look after you, that I am not going to cheat on other women, that I am
But
going to
this
support
doesn't
you.
always happen,
No, no.
you know?
It doesn't all happen because you have a bad guy or a bad woman, for
Yeah,
example.
choose the
But
wrong one.
remember the highway code and individuals that don't follow. We're not talking about exceptions and people do not adhere to the system. We're talking about people who should follow, and then once they tie a knot and saying, okay, I am, consenting to this marriage, then they are legally, morally, from their God, religiously bound
Yeah.
to support, respect, love, look after you, and so on and so forth. And you know that this will happen. But if it was just a relationship between as a boyfriend and a girlfriend, they can just dump you
It's just like
next
how-
morning and say that's it.
It's like, when you say you have to choose the right one, it's like even if they are religious, they're all these things, and then you get into this marriage, and then you find out them actually different to what you thought or what your family thought. And
Fine,
then,
divorce.
yeah.
No problem. Divorce.
But then I feel
But-
like you saved your whole early life for this marriage that just breaks.
No,
up.
how long does it take for one to know another? How long? 1 year?
I don't know.
Bad habits.
I've known him like 10 years,
If the
so
guy is not a
I
good
don't
guy,
know.
you will know him within a month or 2 months.
His name Johan.
Johan, yeah.
Johan.
No, he's not.
We need your opinion.
No, I don't think he's the.
Also, so we met each other when we were very young, and
Right.
then we spent a long time apart from each other, and then we met again, and we're quite different people from
When you were young, yeah.
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 So it's like you also change in your life as well.
Absolutely.
and-
I think, look, everyone's got some criteria in the spouse that they're looking for.
Yeah.
Yes. So just use common sense and obviously rationality in this case to find the best spouse for you, for your family, for your children.
Yeah.
And that's how everyone.
see, but-
if you're trying to be skeptical about everything,
Yeah.
then you'll never find the right person.
In
Your Prince
Islam,
Charming will never come.
you see, in Islam we have certain rules of marriage. The man has certain responsibilities, and the woman, and these responsibilities are defined by God for us in the Quran
Okay.
and the prophetic teachings, right? So the man, he pays for the coffee, he
Yeah.
pays
I
for
like
the
that.
food. Yeah, exactly. You see, he pays for the food, he pays for the clothing, he pays for the roof,
Unless she
right?
wants to.
No, unless the
Unless she's
woman,
rich.
unless the woman is a millionaire and she goes, oh, you relax, don't worry, I'll take care of you. And that man is a very lucky man.
Yeah.
But in Islam,
Not only that, you have to pay for the children.
100%.
Even for their feeding. If you don't want to feed them, you
Yeah.
have to find a woman.
Exactly. So the man is shackled, literally.
Yeah.
In Islam,
That's the
yeah, exactly, shackled with responsibilities. A man, if he doesn't fulfill, if the woman is not given food, if she's hungry,
But
she's
why
without
is
clothes,
it
the man
so
is
the man-
sinning. Sorry?
Why is it down to the man? Why
Because
is it a written
because
rule that
Islamically
it's down
speaking,
to
the men are given a degree of responsibility over women. A degree
Why is
because they are the strongest. Sorry to say, they are the strongest sex. So,
Not
you
in
know,
all cases.
no,
But Islam, Quran said,
yeah.
"Rijalu qawwamuna
Yes, this is what I explained to her, brother. This is what I explained to her, and this is what I'm telling her in our words,
What if I'm with
right?
a small man that's like
No,
nowhere near?
we're talking about the norm.
nowhere near-
We're talking about the norm. We're talking about normally speaking.
I mean, I'm stronger than him.
I don't think so. Physically, no, you're not stronger than
Johan,
I-
we need your
yeah.
opinion.
Okay.
Are you sure? Are you sure she's stronger than you?
I am, right?
Just say yes. Just say yes.
I saw the big question mark on his
You
face.
need to provide like the money for everything, the house,
Oh,
this,
dear.
that. This is the setup.
You just got from now on.
Yeah.
If you
I'm
don't,
the
she
one
knows
with
the
most
Muslim
things
man
to
well.
do.
Where's the point?
Yeah.
No, seriously. This is even if the woman if a woman, a Muslim woman, if she is a millionaire, she's a tycoon, she owns skyscrapers, and the guy is a bricklayer.
Yeah.
I mean, such matches don't happen usually, yeah. But if it does take place, the guy from his bricklaying, Islamically speaking, he has to feed his wife. She
Yeah.
can flatly refuse to give him a penny, and she's not committing a crime,
Yeah.
moral or ethical, right?
Yeah.
She's not. If she turns around and says, "That's my money," so
It's nice, but I feel bad. I feel so bad
no,
for the guy.
yeah, I agree.
But we are not
I
saying
agree.
that obviously
It's
that's
being
not
it's
we are
being
saying
kind and merciful.
We're saying this. These are the rules.
Yeah.
The rules are
To
rules.
the women.
The rules are
Yeah.
the man, the
So
father, the
this-
father, the father provides for his daughters.
Yeah.
The brother protects or provides for the sister. The son provides for the mother, and the husband provides for the wife. So
So do you
Islamically,
think this motivates a lot of guys, like, to go out there and make
absolutely,
enough money
Islamically,
for their
it's their
future?
responsibility. They have
But
to
isn't,
take
isn't
care of
that,
it.
I don't think this only in Islam. If you look
No, I
generally
don't think
speaking,
so.
it's mostly the men providing for the family anyway.
Not necessarily in this
No, no,
society.
generally
No. In this
society,
society,
both of
men
them
and
work.
women,
Yeah, they both
they
work.
they
Yeah,
are.
I mean,
But if
in
the
my parents' circumstances, yes.
No, but
Yeah.
even today, there are many women who prefer to remain with their children. Yes. So this is not something that which is abnormal. This is norm. This is the norm, and it has been for many decades and centuries.
Yeah.
But what we are saying is that in Islam, the responsibilities and the roles are well defined. So it's, like when you go to work, you have a well defined job role. Your role is well defined, so it tells you what is your role, and this role has to be defined in your job description.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you would say, "Why am I here?" or somebody will question that. Similarly, in Islam, there is no ambiguity about the roles. The roles are well defined. Now, if the woman does want to work, it is not prohibited. If that's what you're asking. However, the responsibility of providing for the family still remains with the man.
Yeah.
But if they both agree that we are going to share the expenses or something
problem.
and look after the family,
Yeah.
there's no prohibition as such. But if, let's say, if one of them disagrees, then they can always go back to the default, which is the man's responsibility.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not like a feminist or anything. I don't know why, like, the guy has always been the one that has been the strongest
Yeah.
and has to fight.
It's just taking the historical, physical reality of our makeup. We are wired differently. Man and woman, we are not the same. This is a modern, it's like, what is it? It's a propaganda by
feminism.
secularists in which that men and women are equal. We are not equal. Our brains are not wired the same. You can multitask such better ways than we cannot. It's our deficiency, but it's the way we are. And it's the way you are. So this makeup, wearing of your brain, this is the way how the creators made you in such a way. The way that you certain functions, perform certain functions, we cannot. Likewise, men, if you look at historically throughout human histories, has been generally and still is without any kind of drug manipulation. They are the physically the stronger ones.
Men fight
just
wars.
think that
Men
maybe-
fight wars. You don't
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah,
You
but
don't
it's a
see
bit
women.
stupid,
Yeah.
don't you
Yeah,
think?
yeah.
Anyway, so Islam considers
Fighting a war.
Wars.
wars. Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
of
think
course.
all wars are
Shouldn't fight
stupid.
wars.
Yeah.
There are certain
Certain
wars
times
that
it could be
are-
justified. So coming back to this point though, our Creator legislates rules and principles based on what we are able to do and not able to do.
I just think it's
Take that
quite
into account.
dangerous in like working environments though if they say, oh, the man is stronger, even though the woman is doing the same job, and if they get paid, the
No.
men- if the men
We don't agree with that.
paid
Pay, if a woman is doing,
because it's
in
a
fact,
guy.
in some cases, I believe women should get paid more than men because they're doing more work. Women are, generally speaking, are better administrators. Men, generally speaking, admin work, for example, in the office, the women are doing more work than men. So in that case, I believe where the wage is different for men and women, that's not fair. That's not fair. If women are doing the same job men are doing, then they should be paid the same. This is absolutely appalling. If that happens anyway, it is absolutely abhorrent. Okay.
But it's maybe the company thinks, well, the woman is always going to expect the man to provide, so we're going to pay them more.
No, I
Pay
think
women more or men?
Pay the
more.
guy more, because if they pay the woman more, but they still go by this rule of the man.
That's if they're working the same,
Yeah.
right? They should be paid the same,
Yeah.
right? But when it comes to other issues, for example, if the man should get more money than a woman because he's supporting that, that would be fair. For example, inheritance. If the father leaves behind wealth and the sons receive more than their sisters or the daughters, is because the son will be taking care of his sisters from his money, not the other way around. The woman gets to keep her money, okay? The son who inherited from the father, it is his responsibility to provide for the sisters, despite the fact that they have received the share. In that case, it can be argued it's fair, and that's how Islam.
I think it would be like nice in an ideal world. I just don't think.
So
I
Islam,
think we believe in equity rather than equality.
yeah.
Do you know the difference?
Yeah, equity. Is
Or
like,
adequate distribution of responsibilities and wealth.
I just think that a lot of the written rules are not followed, and this is where
I really sense, you don't,
That's the
in principle,
issue.
have objections to Islamic principles and
Yeah,
morals.
I don't
It's
have
the
any-
application of it people are not following.
It's the same
I can see that.
It's the same
So-
with law, with
So,
any religion.
coming back to the questions that we started talking about it,
Yeah.
when we have these two options, and how do we, how do we live,
gonna drop out.
how do we conduct our lives? Which code life that we should follow? I mean, it's reasonable then to follow the one that is prescribed, sent by our Creator. And the question that Johan asked is, how do we know out of all these different kind of systems and ideologies which one to follow? And I said, be critical-minded, critically thinking, and critically examine, and then you come to your choice. This is an informed choice that you have to make and say, look, if I were to compare and contrast between these religions and ideologies, this is the one
That makes the most sense.
find convincing, and I should follow it, because you can't be someone saying, okay, fine, you know what, let me keep on searching and searching.
But you will have to put your social biases aside.
At one point, you would know that this makes sense to me and I am accepting it. The reason why people don't accept it, he used the key words, biases. I could be biased because, if I become a Muslim, does it mean I have to be like an Arab? Eat couscous or whatever, right?
like
It's
social.
not. Yeah. So that's what prevents a lot of people from even reflecting and thinking
Bias
about
or
Islam.
prejudice, yeah.
Like, does it mean like I have to dress in a certain way, I have to eat in a certain way, I have to talk in a certain way? Not realizing that the Islamic principle supersedes and transcends culture, transcends language, transcends people's understandings of their ethics or normality. It itself provides one. So the Quran, Islam, holistically, is a whole system of life.
Who wrote the Quran? Like,
Very good question.
Who wrote, because I don't know where this connection from creator to.
You're asking very good questions. Every question you're
Where does
asking,
this come from?
right questions to ask. We believe,
It'd be a good take for you.
and I hope it's a good reflection for you too. We believe the Creator communicates to us about why we're here, how we're supposed to behave, and what's going to happen to us once we die. And part of that communication is appointing and raising prophets and messengers as our guides and warners, through which we receive the communication from God. So the Quran is what we say is a verbatim words of our Creator, given through the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to us. So it's like if I were to convey a message, he told me, go and tell someone something. So I just learned. He dictated to me.
Yeah.
I learned verbatim, word for word, letter for letter, sentence by sentence, and I just said, this is what Adnan said, for example.
You're very trustworthy then. I would
Yeah,
say.
I have to be.
Trustworthy.
If I'm relaying information from Adnan to yourself, how can you accept my statement to you that this is what Adnan said unless you confirm that I'm trustworthy?
It's like an
And this
ambassador
is
of a
why
country who
this
sends to another country.
this is why you will find Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was known to his community to be trustworthy and reliable person.
Yeah.
They testified, and that's why people said, okay, when he said like, I have received revelation, of course with proof and evidence, and people accepted it easily because this man doesn't lie, this man doesn't speak untruth, and so
Because
on.
of,
Yeah.
reputation.
So the Quran was dictated by the Prophet from God and written by his companions, and it was memorized by them. So we have a written form and an oral form, and that's how we have the Quran, and we can trace this back to our Prophet.
Yeah.
Unlike any other scripture, we can trace that
Every
this is
word,
this
every
is
word back
this
to the
is
Prophet.
this is what our Prophet conveyed it from God. So whatever legislation is there, I know human mind and hand has not tampered with.
And amazingly, he's foretold in the previous scriptures, by the way.
So you guys
Yeah.
trust Muhammad,
Yes.
like you.
Yes.
I just
So can
find
you.
I need to trust someone
So
like
can you.
who I've met and I've spent time with, and I really believe in their.
Why don't you read his biography, written by Martin Lings? Martin Lings is an author. He has written a biography of Prophet Muhammad.
Until
Read,
then,
he's
you
an
can have
Englishman.
this free
He's
copy
an
of the
Englishman.
biography of the Prophet.
Yeah. Okay, is that a biography?
Yes, a-
Okay,
yeah,
that's a
it's a
brief
short
biography.
biography.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, read
We'll
through
read
it.
it over tonight.
This one I prepared earlier.
But there is a biography by Martin Lings. If you want to read some detailed
Yeah.
biography, just
So
get your hands on
How
it.
do you think I would fit into like a Muslim community?
I think you'll do quite well.
As like,
You would make a good
do
Muslim.
you,
Yes. No,
do
definitely.
you think like I
We are
would-
not just saying that based on your questions, based on your rationality. No,
Yeah.
trust me, you would make.
You
a
just
very
have to
good
be
person.
interested. The point is, you have to be interested to
Sincere.
know the purpose of your life.
Yeah.
Why are you here? What are you doing in this world, on this planet? Who sent you here? Did you choose your birth, or someone gave birth to you by his choice? Okay, it's
Yeah.
the Creator. We believe the Creator is creating everyone and everything, right?
Yeah.
Why did He create us? And the purpose is put down in His revelations, and the revelations came through prophets. Right? One of them is Prophet Muhammad, the final messenger of God. And when you read about him, you see for yourself whether he puts forward something erroneous or something that makes sense and produces a beautiful social reality. Right? When it is followed, when it is applied. Okay? When you ignore it, it's not going to benefit. But if you adopt these principles, you will see a better person. You will see a truthful person. You will feel most importantly a happier person. You will become, if you have a connection with God, your Creator, you will become happy.
Yeah.
It's a natural outcome. We are told in the Quran, "Ala bi dhikrillah tatma'innul qulub." Is it not in the remembrance of your God that you find peace of your heart or
Yeah.
tranquility of your heart? Okay, hearts find solace, peace in the remembrance of our Creator. We just have to know Him.
For
Because
example, all those questions you ask, imagine you have the answers to all of that.
Yeah.
Don't you think you'll be at peace? If you have
Yeah.
somebody told you the purpose of your existence, your life. This is an
I
age-old
think I would
question.
have a million more questions.
No, it's good actually. Asking
read
questions.
through the book. It was
Yeah.
very nice talking to you.
I'll let you know what I
And,
think.
and
What's your name, by the way?
Charlotte.
Very
Charlotte,
nice talking
it was
to
a
you.
pleasure
Come
speaking to
here
you.
often.
yeah.
Most Sundays.
Only every Sunday.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
This is this
I come
this.
to you all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah. This happens on Sundays.
Always welcome to come back.
Okay.
Do you not know
I
about
usually
Speaker's
go
Corner?
running.
This is called Speaker's Corner.
Yeah, I live like not
Oh, you
far away.
so you should know that.
Come every Sunday. If you have questions, you want to talk more, these guys are here.
I mean, if you
I've
feel,
never seen the cameras before. This is
oh,
new.
cameras is a new thing of
It's a new thing
modern
for you
times,
guys.
right?
The cameras have been here for 5-6 years. Where have you been?
Clearly not
Yeah.
here.
So do reflect on what we have discussed
Yeah.
and
Have you read
just
the Quran,
think-
by the way?
No.
Do you want
a
a free copy?
No, it's okay, thank you.
Okay,
I'll
next.
start with this one.
Yeah.
I
Let's
don't
start
read,
with
I
something
don't read
short.
things very quick.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
But
fine.
you're always welcome to come back
Oh,
and talk to
nice.
these
Thanks a
people.
lot.
Very nice
Pleasure.
talking to Charlotte. Thank you so much.
Nice.
Okay.